My name is Josh Huseth, and I served 4 years in the Marine Corps. I always wanted to be in the military, and first it was the Air Force because I wanted to fly jets, and then I figured that wouldn't probably work out. And then I wanted to do the Army. I don't know, sometime in high school, my cousin married a guy who was in the Marines, and I talked to him quite a bit, and that seemed like it would be better than the Army, so it's kind of when I made up my mind, I guess.
My name is Taylor Huseth. I'm a sister of a United States Marine veteran, and my relationship and my life changed when my brother joined the Marines. Growing up, Josh was always playing computer war games and playing war outside, and he was always interested in the military, so when he joined, I don't think we were very surprised. And our relationship we didn't have a very good relationship when he started to get into middle school and high school. And I was only in 7th grade when he signed up, so, being that young, I didn't really think anything of it. I didn't really think anything bad could happen to him.
You can sign up for the military when you're 17, but you need your parents' permission. So I know Mom probably wanted me to go to college. I'm sure she did, and I'm pretty sure my dad did too. But neither one of them tried to talk me out of it or anything. So I signed up in my junior year of high school, and then I had a year to wait to go to boot camp until after I was graduated. And as it got closer and closer, I got more and more nervous, because I didn't really know what I was going into. I didn't know what to expect. And a lot of the stories you hear are pretty harsh, so.
The day we had to take Josh to boot camp, we had to drive him to Eau Claire, Wisconsin. It was about an hour car ride, and it was me, my sister, my parents, and my stepbrother, and it was just a really quiet car ride because, we're dropping him off. We're not going to be able to see him for 3 months, so it was really quiet. Not much was said. It was very hard goodbye. Because, you grow up with your siblings, you're with them every single day, and then to go from that to not seeing them for 3 months, it's very hard.
Once we got there, I don't really remember too much about getting dropped off and going. I remember my dad and you and Callie dropped me off, and that was kind of sad, but my head was racing from thinking about everything that was going to happen, so I didn't think about it too much, I guess. Well, I went to boot camp in San Diego, so we landed at the San Diego airport. It was 3 months long, and there's 3 phases, and each one's a month long. It's just them trying to, break you down, and you do a lot of physical activity, and the day before graduation, your family gets to come out, and they give you your Eagle Globe and Anchor, which pretty much means you're a Marine and you get to wear that. So they have a big ceremony and your family gets to watch, and then you get to hang out with them for the rest of the day. So that was pretty good. I got to show them around the base and got to eat some real food.
So when Josh graduated from boot camp, I was a freshman in high school, and we got to fly out to San Diego where he was going to boot camp. The day before graduation was the first time we got to see him in 3 months. We barely got to talk to him during that 3 months. So it was just really exciting to see him, and everybody is feeling the same way because everybody went through that same thing. So we're all yelling and we're all cheering for them, seeing them for the first time. And after the ceremony got done, we got to go out on the parade deck and we got to see him. And I just remember, running up to him, hugging him, just crying my eyes out because I was just so excited to see him. And it was just really cool to walk around, see where he's been at. And then the next day was graduation. And it's so cool to see him graduate from boot camp and do all that. And it was just a really cool experience.
I got stationed with 3rd Battalion, 3rd Marines, weapons company, and they were based in Hawaii. Pretty much the reason that we got sent there was because they had just come back from Iraq, and they had a bunch of guys getting out, so they needed more guys to fill their spots. We knew it was an infantry unit and a combat unit. They pretty much told us when we got there that we're gonna deploy at some point soon again.
Learning about Josh's first deployment to Iraq, we were all pretty nervous. We didn't really know what to expect. And the night before he was supposed to fly out, he called us and I talked to him, and we just talked normally and we said goodbye. And then when I hung up the phone, I quickly realized, I was like, I did not tell him I loved him. And I'm like, I don't think I can live with that. So I called him right back and I was like, Josh, I love you, stay safe. And we got off the phone and I was like, I can't leave things the way I did. I needed to tell him I love him. And he was off to Iraq then.
Well, we finally found out where we were going to go to Iraq, and it was a town called Garma, which is just a little bit outside of Fallujah. The unit that was there previously had kind of had some problems. So we were kind of nervous going there because we didn't know what to expect, and it sounded like things were kind of heated over there. And we drove out to where we were going to be staying, which was a place called Camp Fallujah. So and we met our unit that we were replacing, and we went out on some patrols with them. And once we got into the swing of things, it wasn't too bad. It was still pretty nerve-wracking going out. Our normal stuff was going. We did mounted patrols in Humvees, so a group of 4 Humvees would go out, 3 or 4 people in each of them, and just patrol the area. We'd meet with the local leaders and see what they needed done, see what we could help them with. We gave out a lot of money for school projects, building schools and constructing, stuff like getting people running water again and stuff. We'd take out giant bags of food and hand them out to people, basically trying to make people trust us and not the bad guys. We dealt with IEDs a lot, almost on a daily basis when we went out. We'd find a couple a week at least, and I don't know. I think the last month of that deployment was spent out at a smaller base, so it was a little worse living conditions. We were coming back from that camp, I think it was called OP Viking. We were coming back from there to Camp Fallujah to get ready to go back home. And right outside the front gate of Camp Fallujah, right, we were about to get to where we were, and I don't know, our Humvee was probably 3rd or 4th in the convoy, and somehow we ended up tripping an IED that was planted in the median of the highway as we were crossing over it. That blew up our whole front end. I don't know, the Humvee it was really loud. I mean, my ears were ringing, couldn't hear anything, and the Humvee was filled with dust and you could hardly see anything. But we made sure everybody was okay inside, and we couldn't move. We tried to drive out, but our tires got blown off, so we weren't going anywhere. So shut down the vehicle, and the dust cleared, so we tried to make sure that we looked out our windows to make sure there wasn't anything else out there, waiting to get anybody who would come up and help us. We didn't see anything, and a bunch of our other guys swept up to us and made sure there wasn't anything else and got us out of the vehicle. And we were all pretty rattled, I guess, because we hadn't had a vehicle hit yet that deployment, and we'd found a lot of IEDs, but none of them exploded on us. Once it was over with, I was kind of just happy that I was still alive. Then we flew out a few days later.
During Josh's first deployment, he was gone for Christmas, and during that time my parents had ordered t-shirts for all of our family that had a picture of him on it, and on the back said, "My Marine, my hero, my son, brother," whatever he was to us. And then we learned about his first IED hit when his Humvee got hit. It was pretty scary. We were all scared. But he called, he assured us that he was okay and that everyone else was okay. And we were just grateful that he was okay and that he was able to come home a few weeks later. And when we picked him up, we wore our shirts, and it was nice to have him home.
We got to come home for a little bit, and then went right back to training to go over again. It's going to be another 7-month deployment. This time we went to kind of the same area, outskirts of Fallujah, but this time we were responsible for the actual city of Fallujah instead of the towns around it. So we ran patrols a lot less frequently this time because things were kind of calming down. So we didn't go out as much, usually just once a week. Majority of the stuff that we did was talking to the police. We did respond to a few IED and grenade attacks. Those were kind of few and far between. So it was a little easier the second time.
Josh was in the Marines for 4 years. It was the 4 years that I was in high school. And so when he was getting to the time that he was going to get out, he had saved up enough leave so that he was able to come back for my high school graduation. And that was just so nice to have him there because he'd been gone for 4 years. And over those 4 years, our relationship really grew and really got better. And we talked more and it was easier to talk. So it was really nice to have him home, and home for good and home for my graduation.
Okay, after I got out, like I said, I had planned to go to Oshkosh, UW Oshkosh, for school with one of my buddies. Used the GI Bill. I went to Oshkosh for a year, took a bunch of general classes, and I didn't really know what I wanted to do, and I couldn't stand the general classes. I decided to take a year off from school until I figured out what I was doing so I wouldn't just be wasting my GI Bill money. But me and Sarah got a place together in Chippewa, and we got engaged in October of 2011. We got married May 27th, 2012. And we bought a house in Eau Claire, and we're living in Eau Claire right now. It's me, Sarah, and our son Connor. He's 4 years old. Sarah's in school for nursing at Chippewa Valley Technical College, and I'm in school for medical lab tech at the same place. So we're both planning to graduate next spring.
My relationship with my brother is a lot better now. We talk and we hang out with ease, and it's not very hard to talk to him anymore. I mean, I talk to him regularly. And even though it's hard to have him gone for those 4 years when he was in the Marines, I'm grateful that he did it because it helped our relationship grow, and that helped me build a relationship with his wife, Sarah, and their son, Connor, now. I mean, I'm not asking you to share if anything did happen, but is there anything that you're keeping just for yourself that you don't want to share with anybody?
Yeah. Yeah, there is.
And just because people won't understand why
Yeah.
or what would happen?
Yeah. And it's not something I want to think about very much. But.
Well, for you, do you have any regrets serving?
No. No, I'm glad I did it. It was a good experience, and for the most part, at least. I mean, met a lot of good people and had some fun, and yeah, I don't regret it at all. It, I don't know, helped me grow up in a lot of ways, and it's definitely helping out now with going to school with the GI Bill and everything, so I don't regret it at all.